Last week, we faked our MAC address, which, as we discussed in a minute ago, is supposed to be a unique physical address burned onto your wireless card or your network card. That includes phones, that includes TVs, that includes anything at all that connects to a network, including thermostats or lawn sprinklers or whatever. They're all supposed to theoretically be identical. What we did last week is we changed our MAC address. So my MAC address of my computer, because this is the Ethernet that has a connection, and just to reiterate, I had somebody do this week. Where's my virtual adapter? We are never, ever, ever, ever going to use this VirtualBox adapter for anything. All it does is connect VirtualBox to the network, your physical network adapter. That's it. Otherwise, we're ignoring it completely. We'll never do anything with it. This is my connected Ethernet. And it says Ethernet. On a Mac, it'll say, I forgot what it says on a Mac. IPN0.
It actually says MAC address.
But I mean the connection, it has a different connection name. Anyway, it would have the physical address, MAC address, same thing. Whether there's dashes in it or not, doesn't matter. The important part is the hexadecimal, which means hexadecimal means 18, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's a lot of things in computer are done that way because nobody wants to have a binary representation that goes this far. You know, that's how far it would stretch probably. So that's my MAC address. If I can fake this MAC address and pretend I'm somebody else, I can interfere with the network. I can pretend to be whatever I want. I could pretend to be a server. I could pretend to be a DNS server. I could pretend to be a firewall. I could pretend to be a printer. You know, you can pretend to be anything that you want. So what we're going to do with this is set up what's called the man-in-the-middle attack, a classic attack. Here I am surfing away, looking at my Facebook stuff, and I'm seeing all kinds of people going to the FishyCam website, and they're having a good time. But somebody in the middle says, guess what? I am now your FishCam, right? And to me, to me, the perpetrator looks like the FishCam. To the FishCam, this looks like me. So he's spoofing my either MAC or IP address. If this is on the local network, you have to spoof the MAC address. If it's on the internet, on any network that has more than one network to it, you have to spoof the IP address. MAC addresses do not leave the network. When I go to the internet, I have to go with my logical IP address because that will go through. It can be routed, meaning I can go from one network to another. I can go from one town to the next. Inside a town, I use my MAC address or my street address, but my street address doesn't let me go to another town. I have to go out on the highway with my logical address, then I can go to Cheyenne. So that's what we're doing with the with the Hping thing, is we're going to spoof an IP address. So we log into our Kali Linux, password 01. And I have my Windows, which this is the guy I'm going to attack. There we go. Just because we don't need to be messing with your computer. We're not going to do anything bad with this. But we are going to need to temporarily open up the firewall to allow information to go through, which is why hacks are never a single stage thing. They're usually multiple things, which Owen and I know from Mr. Robot. You can't just go in immediately, as Mr. Robot says at one point, I need time. I have to do all these things in order to get in. All right, so back to the directions as I find them. Oh, they're here somewhere. Where'd they go? All right. So we're not going to do any of this. That's a good idea to do that every so often. Update Kali. All right, so we're going to just make it easy, because this is what's called a proof of concept, meaning you're not going to say, hey, Owen, could you turn off your firewall for a minute so I could hack you? Yeah.
Let me do that real quick.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. However, if I called up Riley and said, Riley, this is IT, and he doesn't know the IT people. He's at a different company because he does know the IT people. And we really need to have you do this. Can you go into start and settings and then go here and go there and then turn this off. We're trying to figure out something that's really giving us trouble on blah, 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 blah. Well, he might do it. If you social engineer it right, he might do it if you're really persuasive. And use some acronyms in there, because our BFF is having trouble with our SLQ and, our RD1 is just not working like it's supposed to, I think BFF's the only thing that actually means anything and all that. So we go to start and we'll type in firewall. And that should bring up our Windows firewall. There it is, it's called Windows Defender Firewall now. Yeah. You can count on Microsoft to always change things. And you'd be telling the person, well, I know it says firewall, but in order to test this issue and this new patch for the software, we need to have you turn it off for a moment so we can monitor and see what's happening. See, I can make it sound plausible. So we are going to go, oops, sorry. We're going to go into the turn the firewall off part. And then we're going to turn it off. I don't know if this probably is, I don't know if it's set to public or private, but we're going to turn both of them off. It's not recommended, of course, but in order for us to troubleshoot this new software, we really need your help. We're just having a hard time figuring out what's going on, blah, blah, blah. All right, so now the firewall is off. We are going to go next to, we're going to go to Kali Linux and send some normal IP packets so we can see what normally you're supposed to be going across. So we go into here. Now we don't have to actually, I need to make sure we're both on the same network. This one we don't have to be on, we want to be on the bridged network. Yep, bridged adapter. Because we're not going to hurt anybody that's on the network, but we both have to be on the same one. Now let's make sure we're on the bridged adapter, meaning we're connected to this local network. And this one is not. So bridged adapter. There we go. And, well, I'm talking to Riley. I'm going to say, Riley, I need to know some information about your computer. Can you go to start and type in CMD? And Riley said, well, sure, I really want to help you out. And could you type in IP config? We need to find out what your network address so that we can blah, 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 blah. Except I haven't gotten an IP address yet. Come on, buddy. No. Did you lock up? I have some other stupid notification coming up here. There. Still don't. Well, let me make sure I'm plugged into the right thing and then I'm going to restart. Sometimes that's what you have to do. Yep, bridged adapter. Everything is good. All right, let's restart. We'll stop the recording. Stop anybody. All right, so now I rebooted. It's got an IP address. And all I need is the IP address, 10.0.1, which is part of the local network at WNCC D1. Yours at home might be 192.168.1 dot something. And it may be slightly different. .1, .0 are very common. All right, so from Kali Linux, we can ping that address. Ping, let's see, what was it? 10.0.1. I forgot already. 184. And that's a normal ping. Let's say what Hping does. So when you're doing things to the network in Linux, you usually have to go in as sudo. If we're just pinging, that's not a big deal. But when we start operating and doing things, we need to be sudo. We need to be root. Hping3. And I don't remember what -1 means. Then we type in the IP address, 10.0.1.184. And we have to put in our sudo password. There. Gives you not about the same information, doesn't it? Oh, look at there. It's giving us actually our sequence numbers, isn't it? It's incrementing. Cool. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Well, this is normal. I'm pinging this guy, everything's coming back. Okay, so far so good. And in here I have you do a Wireshark and capture. Does this do a Wireshark? Yeah, let's go up and do our Wireshark. Wireshark is a packet capturing tool. And this allows us to look and see and dissect what's actually happening. There it is, ETH0 is the first network adapter in Linux. It's always going to be showing as ETH0 when you use a virtual machine, because the virtual machine virtualizes or pretends to be an internet and to be an Ethernet cable, and VirtualBox then connects that to the wireless or whatever whatever network connection you have. It doesn't matter how you connect to the network. That address we looked at earlier that I said we're never going to use takes your network access, changes it, and puts it always as ETH0. It's always going to be an Ethernet adapter. Doesn't matter how your physical machine connects. Virtualization is another layer above that. It does what's called abstracting, meaning we're pretending. So we're going to capture packets on ETH0. Zippity-doo-dah, look at there, we have goop going on in the network. Let me get over to my Kali Linux and run this again. Oh, not that one. See, we're getting broadcasts, which is normal chatter. Well, I did want to be on that one, didn't I? There he is. So let's run this. And then we'll take a look at what's capturing. Look at there, ICMP. What do you suppose ICMP is? Anybody have a guess? What are we doing right here?
Oh, and then this is ICMP.
Yeah, I don't think it says it in the regular one, but ICMP means internet. Oh, now I can't remember what ICMP means. It's a troubleshooting protocol. Internet something message protocol. Yeah, I can't remember what it means now, but it's a protocol that Ping uses to test connections. That's what ICMP is. So that's the type of packet that Ping uses to send things. And see in the info, it says Ping request. That would be us talking to my computer.
Internet control message protocol?
That sounds right. Yeah.
It says that right down there.
Oh, well, Andy, you're way too smart. Where does it say that?
The bottom left.
Oh, yeah, that's what it means. So it's a troubleshooting protocol. Ping uses it. Other things use it too, but Ping is the one we usually look at. So this is me sending my packet from my Kali is going to here, and it's doing a ping request. And there's my MAC address, right? This is the other way around. This is the reply. And there's the MAC address of the reply. So far, so good, right? That's pretty normal. And all these ARP broadcasts is basically saying, well, who has this address? Who has that address? You know, there's a lot of chatter that goes wrong. Even my TV's getting in on it, you know, because that's normal chatter. To what it does is ARP maps IP addresses to MAC addresses. So they are synchronized. Now, however, we're going to change that. We're going to spoof. So if we go to our Hping person, we are going to do, let's see, -S, which I'm assuming means spoof. So we have our Windows IP address. And then we're going to do -A. We're going to pretend that instead of our actual IP address, we're going to pretend that we're the same address. Well, let's see what happens. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Nothing's being sent. What's the deal? Oh, well, we have a problem, don't we? We're sending from the same IP address to the same IP address. It's causing trouble, isn't it? So it looks like the Windows machine is sending itself packets, when in this case, that's not what's happening. We're sending packets, but we've spoofed our IP address. So if we look at, it should be different. Nope, it didn't change there. There's a filter I have here. Oh yeah, you can do a filter. I'm not gonna do that. But what should happen is as you go through and look at these, you should end up with some different MAC addresses, and I may not have done it long enough to see the different MAC address. Yeah, I didn't do it long enough. Anyway, now, how are you going to know if somebody does a scan of the network, they're going to see this IP address twice, and maybe they will and maybe they won't. But we know how to fake our MAC address, we know how to fake our IP address. So is anything sacred on a network? No. There isn't. You can pretend to be anybody you want, which is the first step. Is one of the steps, is pretending to be someone that you're not. Anyway, that is the end result of that guy. So it's interesting. All the things we've learned